The thing about the England Manchester mission is we're called the cradle of the Restoration. We're the most blessed mission on the face of the planet. When the early apostles came over, when Joseph Smith, he whispered into Heber C. Kimball's ear and said, "I'm calling you on a mission to Britain." Heber C. Kimball was completely blown away, but he accepted his call because he was a faithful Latter-day Saint, and he led the apostles to England, and they landed in Liverpool, and they went straight north to Preston, England. And in Preston, at the time when they landed there was elections going on, and there were banners all over that said, "Truth will prevail." And that became the slogan for the missionaries. Everywhere they went, "Truth will prevail" was what they cried, and they declared the truth. And so the England Manchester mission, it covers from Carlisle, which is all the way up on the northern border of England, and right next to Scotland, and it goes all the way down to northern Wales to towns that are really hard to pronounce, like Dolgelly and Prachely, and as well everywhere in between Manchester, Liverpool, Stoke-on-Trent. Those are kind of the main cities within the mission, but there's quite a bit of ground covered. It's probably 5-hour drive from top to bottom, but most of the time you'll be on trains and on buses, public transportation. We also cover the Isle of Man, but one of the things I love the most about the mission is that at one point more members lived in England than they did in Utah. And eventually what happened is the prophet declared, "Everyone gather in Zion." So they all went to the docks at Liverpool, and they hopped on a boat, and a lot of boats, and they sailed all the way to America. And most members, especially those in America, probably have ancestors that come from the England Manchester mission or the neighboring areas as well. And so there's more church history than I can really even get started with. Currently at the moment, as of 2015, there's 7 stakes in the mission and 7 zones. So it's kind of broken up. Each zone is its own stake, or each stake is its own zone. Each stake would probably have about 7 or 8 wards. There are quite a few branches. Usually those are either down in the bottom of Wales or up near Carlisle, but things are growing. We are a baptizing mission. That's one thing I love, that some missionaries may have 2 or 3 baptisms on their mission, but quite a few I know had 15 or more, and it really is an opportunity for us to work hard and to get out and declare the gospel. I would say one of the things I really love is the beautiful scenery as well. The highest peak in England and the highest peak in Wales are both in our mission. So we have Snowdonia National Park and what's called the Peak District, which is a national park in England. So it's beautiful. It's amazing. So at the beginning of my mission, I served in Porthmadog, which is in the Chester stake all the way down in Wales. Following Porthmadog, I was sent all the way to the opposite end of the mission to Porthmadog, which is another branch. So both of those are branches. And I went to Carlisle, and Carlisle is in the Preston zone, or Preston district. Following Carlisle, I've got to remember now. Following Carlisle, I went to Macclesfield, which is in the Manchester zone. Following Macclesfield, I went to Hyde, which is also in the Manchester zone. Following Hyde, I went to Lancaster. After Lancaster, I went back to Manchester, where I finished my mission. So I was in the Manchester South Ward, so the biggest ward in the Manchester stake. So it's kind of like the Manchester Stake Center, which is where the Manchester South Ward is like the center of everything in our mission. Every transfer meeting you meet there, probably every other month you'll meet at the Manchester South Stake Center for something. Our mission is super diverse. When I left, which was about 8 or 9 weeks ago, there were 40 different nations represented. One of my best friends in the mission was from Sweden. We have a sister from Mongolia. We have basically every nation you can think of. Tonga, Samoa, New Zealand, South America is represented. Many European countries are represented. Germany, France, a couple Italians, basically everywhere. But the predominant language we speak is English. However, there's also missionaries that are called there that speak Mandarin. And in a lot of the bigger cities such as Liverpool and Manchester, there are always missionaries there that speak Mandarin to target university students coming over from China. And they find a lot of success baptizing them.